What's up, dudes? It's Snail! Back from looking at creations, it's time for your monthly dose of brain damage. It's the best mods of the month. Last month, I didn't even choose. I actually left the choice up to you instead, and you were all very vocal in your support for Blue Hills Research Facility as the winner for October. Before we start the video, all the links are in the description for you to download from. Like the sub, share the smash button, and... If you've been playing for a while now, it's no secret that Fallout 4's performance is rough in some areas, particularly in downtown Boston. I mean, it's kind of fitting for the hardest hood this side of 8 Mile, so at least there's that. One of my favorite concrete examples in the area is between Good Neighbor and the Mass Fusion building, where you can lose as many as 10 to 20 frames just by going for a brisk jog. Yes, I am running an ENB, but it's the most lightweight ENB possible, and this phenomenon happens on vanilla anyway. Of course, none of this involves the performance impact that comes with visual effects during combat, which includes the frustration of trying to hit things while your frames are skipping harder than your dad's scratched Boy George CD. However, frame generation by Doodlem fixes a lot of those performance issues. Oh my god. This is actually insane. I can't believe I'm getting this. I pretty much turned this mod on and just didn't turn it off like ever. Most of the footage in this video, in fact, will be with frame generation enabled, so keep that in mind as you're watching. With frame generation installed, not only did I hit a consistent frame rate moving along the same course and further, even outside Mass Fusion, I'm not getting any frame drop. My frame rate was finally maxing out on my monitor's refresh rate. I can't really overstate how nice it is to finally play Fallout 4 without any sort of hiccups whatsoever. Sadly, this fix is on PC only, so no Xbox and definitely no PlayStation. And while we're talking PC only fixes, Diamond City is at least 5 years out of date with everyone's gaming rigs. As a result, the great green jewel of the Commonwealth really just feels like the dull green cesspool instead. I mean, it was always meant to look shitty, but that's especially true now that I can see it in 75 frames per second. Well, Bailey Men decided to do something about it with Diamond City Polished Diamond. This mod is an expansive overhaul of Diamond City that doesn't just add, but polishes that great green jewel into something truly spectacular. In the vanilla city, the only part of the stadium that's actually utilized for building is the playing field, a small section of the bleachers for wealthy residents, and box seats are converted into the mayor's office. The rest of the bleachers are left completely empty, and there's a ton of vertical space that simply doesn't get used. It's just sort of underwhelming when you realize that the center of commerce and society in the Commonwealth is this sad little shanty town. It's no wonder the Commonwealth is a hellscape of violent drug fiends, that's me by the way, and murderous cutthroats, that's also me by the way. With Polished Diamond installed, this space is used cleverly and efficiently to fill out these empty areas. Lonely concrete bleachers now play host to corrugated metal row houses, the pond where Sheng's water purifier once stood has been filled in, and instead an industrial section has been placed there. Brahmin roam a massive pen just outside the brand new Cappy's Diner, lending a sense of sustainability to the city's food supply. While Polished Diamond is a great cosmetic overhaul, the mod is currently a work in progress. I walked around trying to open doors for a bit and couldn't gain access to anything, so safe to say that for now it's just a visual expansion. However, Bailey Men has pledged themselves to eventually keep filling this overhaul out with interiors and maybe even quests if we're good boys and girls this Christmas, so it's definitely something to keep an eye on. But Diamond City isn't the only spot getting an overhaul, since Corvega Assembly Plant also got some serious love this month. True to its name, it's long, it's hard, it's ready to give you a headache and make you scream. For PC only, it's the Oppressive and Extended Corvega Assembly Plant. In the vanilla game, the Corvega plant is one of my favorite shooting galleries in the entire Commonwealth, and it's always more than happy to deliver a warm supply of fresh bodies to penetrate. Wait, no, I didn't mean it like that. I mean raiders to shoot. There's one problem. Corvega is a bit predictable, and at this point, I'm pretty sure I can just speedrun the entire dungeon, but the Oppressive and Extended Corvega Assembly Plant makes some changes that make shooting through Corvega feel less like an exercise in memorization and more like a fresh take on an old favorite. In particular, my favorite parts were the edits made to the exterior, as even small additions like flaming trash bins and raiders warming their hands on them gives the POI so much more life than it had before. Although it's not just aesthetics, the mod also raises the difficulty of encounters around and inside the plant as well. Safe to say, this is for one of two kind of people. Either you're a person with a ton of modded weapons that are poorly balanced for the game, or you're a straight up freak that loves getting your ass beat. Well, if you're the former, I've got good news. news, the enemies are more likely to spawn with weapon mods in this location now, so there's a good chance that lazy COD port is coming right back to haunt you. There's just one caveat to this whole mod, and that's the fact that it doesn't pull punches just because you're courting 10 Pine Bluffs. When you do attempt it, you should at least use explosion reactions to immerse yourself in the experience. Explosion reactions is a little mod from Stentorius for PC only that provides a great immersive animation for combat. Basically, this mod plays an animation whenever your character is hit with explosives. Mines, grenades, even turrets exploding will trigger an animation on hit. But that's the key here. You need to get hit by the explosion for it to trigger. In my opinion, that actually works better for immersion because if you don't gauge the area of effect properly, it'll pop up as a nice surprise in the middle of a firefight. This beautiful energy sword is named the Institute Laser Sword, and it comes from Mar Mobius for both PC and Xbox. Taking obvious design cues from the Institute's energy guns, this laser sword bears the same sci-fi design, even including a cosmetic fusion cell in the hilt to imply that there's a power source for the blade. It comes with a few different customization options, including the choice in whether you want a longer blade or a shorter blade, or hell, even if you'd like multiple thinner blades to give McDonough a closer shave.
I've had enough of this, Piper.
That may not seem like a whole lot of options, but what it lacks in customization, it makes up for in fun and efficient melee combat. The thing hits pretty hard, and the sounds it makes produce just enough dopamine that I never want to stop using it. Seriously, I played with this thing a lot longer than I thought I would. That's what she said. Nothing beats the thrill of up-close and personal combat, even if that means face-tanking bullets until you can slide on the ops. However, that part is normally much easier if you're wearing a good set of armor, like the Ranger Power Armor from Princess Ares. This gorgeous suit of power armor for both PC and Xbox is inspired by the power armor that can be seen in the trailer for Fallout Season 2. It strikes this perfect balance between NCR Ranger and walking tank, and it's honestly a little shocking that this is the first time I'm seeing something like this for the game. The suit has similar stats to the T-51, so you can expect about the same degree of protection. However, where this mod really shines is in its customizations. Taxidermied Yao Guai pauldrons, Brahmin skulls, bandoliers, and chains make up the options here. As you can tell, I've already picked my favorites, and these new attachments come with impactful boosts that'll augment your playstyle. Oh, you can even change the color of your helmet lenses. That is tight as fuck. I can't really think of a single power armor mod with as much customizability or generally that's even as interesting to me as this one. It almost feels like it was shipped out of the Mojave on Crimson Caravan Prime, like that's how natural it feels. Kinda like the Fallout 4 New Vegas Single Shotgun. Back from the Mojave in style is the Fallout 4 New Vegas Single Shotgun and Alof's repeater for PC only. This piece comes from Cadaver and Shimsham, and it includes completely new animations, muzzle effects, textures, and models that make this weapon fit as seamlessly into the Commonwealth as buckshot through Raider armor. Staying true to its roots, this is designed to be an early game weapon, and likewise, it'll be found anywhere you could find a double barrel shotgun. Despite being early game and actually only having half the barrels of the game's worst shotgun, its reload speed and damage output are actually good enough to completely eclipse the double barrel as a viable choice entirely. But let's not forget the Alof's repeater either, which is a reloading mechanism close to a century old at this point. While also being a real-life piece of technology, this is a unique model to the single shotgun, so you can't just stick it on at a weapons workbench, but you can find these on legendary enemies. How it works is basically the weird pipe next to the barrel takes a single barrel break action shotgun and gives it an external magazine with 4 extra shells, automatically reloading the barrel slot with every break of the barrel. The animations are super smooth for this. I don't think Todd intended us to give backshots to raiders as quickly as this, but fuck it, just roll with it. And yet another early game weapon that can extend into the mid game, the 32 machine pistol by DegenerateDak, comes on both PC and Xbox and brings the iconic VZ61 Scorpion to the Commonwealth. As usual with a DAK weapon, this machine pistol brings many new attachments, custom-made everything, a gun that looks aesthetic no matter what you do to it. I'm not gonna lie to you, this is probably my favorite DAK weapon so far. This thing is blazing fast. With the right attachments, you could blink and it's empty. As a consequence of this, despite being balanced for early game, hitting your shots will make this feel more powerful than it actually is. It just sprays and sprays and sprays. I decided to make 3 different variants of this gun, and I found that even with the long range setup, the recoil does get hard to control when you're at range. even though I still dominated at close range with all 3 setups. This thing is just never bad if you're at all within 20 meters of your target. I think my favorite element of the 32 machine pistol is the scrap furniture options for the stock and the handle. It's little cosmetic choices like this that help weapon mods feel natural to Fallout 4. And Dak must have had a lot of scrap left over when he made it, because he also made an entire rifle out of it. This is the makeshift scout rifle for both PC and Xbox, obviously from DegenerateDak. It's effectively a pipe rifle, as pipe rifles should have been. Just like a vanilla pipe rifle, it has some really good modularity that leverages the bucket load of attachments it comes with. 3 options in receiver means that you can make this a traditional bolt action rifle or a straight pull bolt action rifle, which actually, that's the first time I've ever seen that in a Fallout game. Oh right, and I did say there was a 3rd option, didn't I? Yeah, it's just semi-automatic. You can just turn this thing into a semi-automatic banger that pumps powerful rounds through enemies, like Activision pumps out bad Call of Duty games. It's good at all of these applications, but to be honest, I highly preferred the gimmick of running around with a pistol-sized sniper and quick-scoping enemies. Plus, in terms of raw power, bolt action simply could not beat the semi-automatic receiver. But nevertheless, it'll fill all your early game needs and any target shooting you might do with the new moving target practice mod from Itchy Treasure Sack. Finally, Preston can catch a break from being my test dummy. Yo, come here, Preston. Sack has been featured on the channel before for the bowling mod, which you can check out in the annotation on the screen, but their newest mod for PC only adds 13 objects, 4 moving targets, and 1 hanging target. There's also a whole range of new decorations you can build to give your settlement's new firing range a more personal touch. I obviously got pretty excited about building a firing range, so I immediately got to work. I will say you probably want to use place anywhere since the targets can be kind of difficult to place. But once you have them placed, what you need to do is walk up to the moving targets and activate them to start them. My firing range wasn't really all that well made, but I also vastly underestimated the range of motion for the targets, so I'm just going to work with what I've got. Despite any difficulties my jet addiction may have caused during its design, I still had a lot of fun with this mod because it tracks how many good hits you make on any target in the message box on the screen. Even just this counter function alone elevates the experience, and now you get the option of moving targets too, which just completes it all for me. Now, while you throw together your range, you'll want to partake in the time-honored tradition of listening to the radio while building shit. Pipboy Valve mod is the perfect excuse to listen to Travis's anxious ramblings between songs. Available only for PC, what this mod does is emulate the warmth and imperfections that are involved with tube valve audio technology. I'm not going to get into how this warmth is produced, you can look that up on your own time. So there isn't really any footage I can show for this, so I'm just going to shut the fuck up for a hot minute and I'm going to let you hear the difference.
Here's the thing, a sort of note. Here's the thing. A sort of note, I guess, from a sponsor here. From a sponsor here in Diamond City, and I'll just read it. In Diamond City, and I'll just read it.
I know it might seem subtle, but for anyone who knows what you're supposed to listen for, you can definitely hear it. It sounds great, and it's probably never coming off my mod list. It also works on custom radio stations, such as the Misery Island radio station from the titular mod. But hold the fuck up for a second. Misery Island isn't just a radio station. Oh no. It's an all-encompassing, game-expanding masterpiece of a new world space mod from the dynamic duo 10 Hats and Shredda 4. If you've ever played Boon Island or watched my Boon Island video, then you'll know what to expect from these two. This is the long-awaited second installment to the Isles of New England series that the pair started with Boon Island. For PC only, this island brings you the following: a seaplane, a skill check to repair an eyebot, a bad case of the crabs, brand new enemies who all want a piece of that ass, all draped over the ruins of a tourist resort languishing in the irradiated mist of the Atlantic Ocean. Plus, there are also a number of quests, new weapons, and a well-written main story for you to sink your teeth into. But make no mistake, this mod is difficult. Holy shit, no, I got my shit pushed in. Wow. Just like Boon Island, Misery Island is based on its real-world counterpart, and it has been faithfully recreated to the upper limits of the creation kit. Also, just like Boon Island, I will be giving it its own video, and that video will be part exploring the mod and part historical documentary about its real-life inspiration. I'm really excited to make the video, but in the meantime, just know that Misery Island is some seriously good shit. The exploration doesn't stop when you return to the Commonwealth, though, because now Glitch Finder has some new locations for you to check out on PC and Xbox. Bunker Stories is a mod that adds 6 new interior locations rich with environmental storytelling about the final days of those who couldn't escape the bombs. This mod and its content comments were actually pretty touching in many ways. Each bunker is meticulously detailed to tell that one person's specific story, what they had with them, and maybe why they met their end to begin with. You'll come across the harrowing messages of a mind driven mad by shock and isolation, a boat that provided little protection against the shockwave of the blast, and a trailer that proved to be a worse gamble than being in the open. I think this mod reaffirms one of my favorite things about Fallout in general, and perhaps Fallout 4 in specific. Too often, Fallout 4's main story gets a lot of heat. Perhaps this is deserved since it doesn't feel terribly compelling even on a first playthrough. But the stories you glean just by seeing an old skeleton in a bathroom stall, or in a bed surrounded by various items, are impactful, almost enough to make up for a lack of free play value in the main quest, because the replay value is in the world that you explore. These bunkers and other mods like this add so much to the world of stories that you get to walk through. Although running instead of walking is what's up next, as in here are the runner-ups for November of 2025. Mage Abilities actually comes from a friend of the channel by the name of Natty. Now Natty and I have something extremely special planned for you all this month, so keep your eyes open and your ears peeled. Not like with a potato peeler or anything, but also open, I guess. Anyway, Mage Abilities adds several new spells to the game, taking the back-end form of grenades or weapons where it makes sense, but made to look immersive to the end of casting spells. It's pretty good fun to use, honestly, but having to pull it from the console rather than having a real-world implementation means that it goes on runner-ups instead of part of the best. Still, very fun mod, and I think you should try it if you can. Soviet Combat Rifle is another cannon weapon, joining us from Robbie the Kid, who made last month's Thompson SMG overhaul. This weapon is pretty good if you're into AKs, and it has a fair amount of customization. It simply lost out to the other weapon entries this month that I felt all had something a little more significant to them. And finally, the moment you've been waiting for, the mod of the month is... You decide! That's right, I enjoyed the voting process from last video so much that I decided to do this at least one more time in 2025. Pick 3 mods from this video for your favorite mod right now in the comments, and I'll tally the votes up and announce the winner in the next Best Mods of the Month video. If you didn't already catch it at the beginning of the video, Blue Hills Research Facility won Best Mod for October 2025. Fantastic quest mod and dungeon design, you should play it for sure. And if you enjoy the coverage and the videos I make, you should consider liking the video, and if you're not already subscribed, you should do that too. Because unlike paid mods, it won't cost you a dime. Massive thanks to the patrons and channel members on screen. Join us on the Discord if you aren't already there, where we have Fallout text roleplay open and conversations about mods every day. Also, we're thinking about a Minecraft server, I don't know, let me know. As per usual guys, I got a jet. I'm Snail. Peace, dudes. I'm out.